Hello and welcome to our STEAM Executive video series episode. Today's episode is on the talents and strengths and how the whole conceptualization is being offered for a specializations for the organizations and within organization the teams. We have got Sean Donovan today. He is the director of STEAM Executive, and he has been in a strength development journey over 15 to 20 years. But we have been offering these programs and packages for the last 10 years. Okay, so
Thank you, Mahesh.
Sean. Yeah.
So I particularly wanted to cover this off today because one of our partners, Jasmine, had asked that we put together something for her business, which is JB Graphics Design. And so I wanted to use this as an opportunity for us to discuss how you can use your talents and specialisations and use talents and specialisations of other people from other organisations, from other suppliers, and how you go about this. So, we've got the use of our multimedia tools today, the whiteboard, very old school, but it works.
Yeah.
So the first key thing for you or your organisation is to understand what your organisation focus is, what it is that you do, and that will then dictate everything that follows. So, for example, we do coaching and workshops for teams and individuals to improve themselves, and our sort of catchphrase, making life great. So it's making life great in all these things. So that's what our focus is. Now, leading from that are the core skills. So there's a core skill set that we have which supports that organisation focus, and you'll have a core skill set in your organisation as well that supports your organisation focus. And that's effectively what you are. So that's your talents and strengths, and that's what you need to have within your organisation to maintain that focus of your organisation. Now then, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you need to get done. So there's these other needs. So once you've identified, well, this is our focus, this is our core skills, anything that's outside of that is the other needs. Okay, so anything that's not your core is other needs. So really, if you're an organisation, you should be not doing those yourself, because that's not what your core is. So those other needs, you then go to use suppliers. So that's great. Just nothing sort of groundbreaking there, or shattering news about that. But the key thing is this bit over here, which is those suppliers have other talents. Okay, so you've got your talents and strengths, which is your core, and then they have other talents and strengths, and you use those as required. So they may be very occasional, or they may be more regular, maybe daily, weekly, monthly, once a year, however often it is you need to use those suppliers. So in our case, for example, we use JB Graphics Design for our graphic design work. And in coming to select that, you can go through an iteration of trying different people until you find somebody that you like. So we tried a number of different suppliers for our graphic design work before finally we got Jasmine, and we're quite happy with the work that Jasmine did. So we continue that relationship, and Jasmine's now our supplier for our graphic design work. Other things that you might need to outsource, for want of a better term, have a supplier for, have a partnership with, is for things like your IT web support. So again, we don't do our own IT web support. We're doing this. We're doing our organisation focus. So we buy in the expertise for the IT and web support. Accounting is another thing that unless you're an accountant yourself, unless that's what you do, you might be an accountant, but unless it's what you do, well, yes, we have someone who does the data entry work, the accounts payable, accounts receivable, all that sort of stuff. But in terms of an accountant, we don't have an accountant ourselves, but we do use the services of an accountant who's a partner of our organisation. And then there might be other things such as communications. So that's the people who are helping with your marketing things, with your sales things, with your advertising, with your media presentations, any number of things around your communications to other places, organisations, people, and so forth. So, and there can be more outside suppliers that you use for your organisation, because there's other needs, so they need to be done, but you don't have them within your core organisation. So the term that's used these days is the gig economy. Sounds terrific, doesn't it? The gig economy. Sounds wonderful.
It's more of a collaborative efforts, but you are running the show of your own main business, but you take other people's strengths, their skill set, and you can leverage them to lead and promote your own business. And same way through the cross-functional needs of each other, not as a partner, but as a supplier in the terms.
So overall, there's a complement of these talents and these skills. So the idea of the gig economy is that you as a supplier, you focus on what you're good at, and you supply to lots of people, and similarly you can use lots of people to get your supply for yourself, right? So that's the sort of the broad concept of it. And people then can work. So the specification of the job is very fuzzy in that case. So it's I'm not going to tell you necessarily when you're going to do this. I'm not going to sit down and say, you will from 10 in the morning until 11 o'clock do this, and then you will from 11 till 12 do this. So all I give you is the specification of, we want this document, or we want, whatever it is. And you say to me, well, that will be done by whenever. That's very basic level. Someone like a delivery firm, you might need it just delivered by a certain time, so that might be part of the specification. And then someone can choose to take that job or not take that job. So then you come back with the product you've worked on it whenever. It doesn't. I don't care when you've worked on it. Not a 9 to 5 sort of thing from my perspective. I'm just interested in the result and the product. Okay, so again, with Jasmine and JB Graphic Design, we've utilised them. We say, okay, I want this. I give the material that is used for producing it, and then she comes back with the sample. So okay, here's what I put together. I might look at that and say, I can't read the little tiny writing there because my eyesight's an older guy, and so then she'll make that writing a bit bigger and so forth. So that's sort of how it works. One other thing I wanted to then say is the importance then of knowing who is what, who's the resource that you're going to use. So I relate 2 stories that came to me this week. One someone related to me. It used to be someone who worked with us a few years ago, and they're working somewhere else. They're an office manager, and they were commenting to this other person, the office manager job's really easy. They said, it's, I just I just said, if we need a plumber, I call the plumber. If we need a the IT, I call the IT and they do it, and everyone thinks I'm wonderful, right? That's what they said. But the point being that they know which one to call. And
Yeah.
so the importance is knowing
Yeah.
what skill you need and who to call. It seems obvious, but I got a call the other day, apropos of this, just shortly after I heard that story, from someone asking me about, something about video projectors. Why call me? I don't know about video projectors. I might use a video projector, but I wouldn't know about replacing a lens or a bulb or anything in the video projector. So they called the wrong person, and I suggested perhaps call this other person. So that is a case where they didn't know what skill set they needed. They weren't able to differentiate that. So it is important. And I'm going to throw back to Mahesh now just to talk a little bit about how you can go about identifying those skills, those talents, and building that team matrix so you understand.
Yeah, I think, thanks, Sean. It was a very effective model which you presented for any business organization or, like a team building or reaching to the like objectives or the goals of the organization. Main thing in this model is we are leveraging power of collective strengths. So like whatever skill set, like a core skills you have, and there are some skill set like a core skill set some another business or organization have, and basically you leverage that, you make use of that, and then it becomes like a total power of collective strengths. And this is where actually the the outcome or the objectives are met easily and quickly. And like for any business organization, there are 4 different domains of strengths required, and they are strategic, like a strategic thinking is a one domain. Then second one is a relationship building. Third one is influencing, like influencing others, and the fourth one is executing. So no one individual or no one single team can have all the 4 domains together. So this is where we lean on some other suppliers where other needs are met, just like our specific needs for marketing and presenting our videos. We need JV graphic design, and Jasmine has been very effective for conveying our message to our
producing the brochures,
using brochures and some of the presentations image, and making our message very clear to the general community audience, because sometimes they can't understand so many words, but they can understand the picture.
And also it's the choice of fonts. It's the choice of how you make some particular things stand out from something else. You or I might do it, and it looks pretty amateurish. It doesn't stand out, but when sort of Jasmine does it, that will stand out a lot. She knows what to do, and has the sort of the eye to be able to do it.
So basically, this model is a perfect model for any business organizations. You can take our expertise, you can contact us if you need any help, and we can refer, we can recommend, or we can find a right skill set person or the business organization for your business growing and flourishing. So
so the idea, what Mahesh is saying is the idea would be you do your what's it called? Discover your strengths.
Discover your strengths.
You do your
yeah.
discover your strengths. You find where your strengths lie,
Yeah.
and what are those 4 quadrants
Yeah.
those strengths lie in.
Yeah.
So you're identifying both yours, but you're also identifying that gap
Yeah.
where you're missing,
Yeah.
and then using that
Yeah.
when you're to build your team, you can use that to then identify these other needs, and then go out and find the suppliers. But again, as I said before, it's not a simple task of just saying, oh, well, I'm going to, and here it is, and I'll just bring in the one, because you'll need to iterate. You might need to try, you might be lucky, you might find the right person first time, but you might need to iterate. Try a few people on a small thing first, just to see, does it look good, is it working, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then if it works for you, then that's good. Or if those ones aren't working out, well, you stop using them and you find somebody else.
Yeah. It's a popular proverb that wherever your attention goes, the energy flows there. So your attention must be on, your focus should be on your organization's core skills, and those core skills you must be able to find out first. You must be able to confidently convince and use them very effectively, and then you must find out what are the gaps where you need other needs through other suppliers. So basically, if you want to manifest your best version, because we also say best version of the organization and best version of individual. So the best version of organization, this model is there. So you can, with that, once you manifest that, you can magnify your business. And we have done this, and we have helped many businesses. Like just our work is just finding that gap, skill set provider, and if that is the right match, then you can go ahead. Okay. In our case, JB Graphic Design and the work supplied by Jasmine has been very effective model for the STEAM executive. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.